Hello and welcome to today's discussion with Miguel Sanchez of Neighbors, the 2021 Global Leader of Influence by the World Affairs Council of Greater Houston. I'm Sandia Bayou, Chief Development Officer here at the World Affairs Council of Greater Houston. It's our hope that you and your family, everybody staying safe and healthy. Miguel, congratulations and welcome.
Thank you very much. I was really surprised to see the nomination, and I'm really, I want to say happy that I was nominated, and great to be part of this great movement.
Wonderful. Again, we are happy that you accepted. Let me share with our participants and viewers a little bit more about the actual event. The World Affairs Council of Greater Houston is dedicated to honoring individuals who, in the spirit of Jesse H. and Mary Gibbs Jones, have contributed to the international spirit of our city. In celebration of these individuals, the World Affairs Council hosts the annual Jesse H. Jones Awards Luncheon to highlight their achievements. This year, the council is honored to recognize VPs Starlee Sykes and Alistair Vickers as a 2021 International Citizens of the Year. And as you know, we are so thrilled that during this momentous celebration, we will also be recognizing you, Miguel, as the 2021 Global Leader of Influence. Global leaders are individuals who have demonstrated exceptional leadership, made significant contribution to the international spirit of Houston, and built lasting impact on the community. A little bit about you, if I may. You currently are the Vice President of International Operations for Neighbors, overseeing activities in Latin America, as well as in the Eastern Hemisphere. You have over 20 years of experience in oil and gas industry and have had opportunity to work in several geographical locations around the globe, as well as multiple disciplines within industry. And I'm sure these are just the very highlights of what you have not even accomplished, a very brief overview. Miguel, in preparation for discussion, I worked with our students who are part of our Student World Affairs Councils. Those are high school students that we engage with, and they will be also in attendance of this momentous celebration for us. And they are actually wonderful resource for us that we go and ask their questions, because again, these are young leaders in training. They will be take the leadership perhaps from you and proceed on. So it's very worthwhile, their engagement, and we certainly appreciate it. And I have asked them to provide us some assistance with career-oriented questions and maybe some ways to get to know you personally. So one of the students, Sarah, has asked, from your professional career path, is there something that you might want to highlight, perhaps an accomplishment?
Sure. So I, first of all, again, it's a pleasure to be here. And to all those students, I guess my overall comment and advice is just to keep evolving how they are. They're certainly a generation that it's much better prepared than we were back in my time. They got access to much better tools and the ability to do a lot of different things like this event, for example, that it's sure adding value to them as a human being and also as a professional. So I think going back a bit to what you were saying, Sandia, a while back, it's one thing that I want to highlight of my career is that I've had the chance to live and work overseas in multiple geographies, and I think I've been to every single continent and just about to every country that you can think of. Some good ones, some bad ones, some great experiences, some not so good experiences, but that has allowed me to have a much better understanding of the world. It has enriched me as a person. It has allowed me to learn a lot of tools as a professional. And it has taught me that it's a diverse world, and it's getting more diverse as time goes by. And we need to understand and acknowledge for the different cultures, for the different requirements, local content development, different things that are happening out there in every country. Every country has their own drive. And we have to learn how to work with that. And I think as these young students are progressing in their professional lives and getting ready to go ahead, they're certainly much better prepared than than I was at their age, because again, the tools that they have and the openness around the whole diversity and inclusion theme, it's much better today than it was back in my time. But I think for them to keep that in their minds as they evolve, it's key, right? It's just, we have to acknowledge where we're doing business or where we're actually spending time, and we have to understand how we can do that, how we can get our message across, how we can get our task done, respecting and acknowledging the environment that we're working in.
Absolutely. Anything from career? Maybe you want, maybe it's an accomplishment to see every part of the world.
Yeah, so from my career perspective, I think a big accomplishment for me is I started my career actually with BP. Back in Venezuela, where I was raised, and I started in downstream, which is, it's basically taking all the products from the refineries into the different segments. And then soon after that, I was able to switch over to upstream, which is actually where I am right now, which is really where you're basically drilling for hydrocarbons. And that was a major accomplishment at a very early stage, because usually it's not easy to bridge that gap. It's sort of like if you start down that one path, you tend to spend your whole life in that path. And that was a great achievement for me. And I was so happy that I did it, because here I am,
And it's interesting, we almost jumped to the question that Christian has asked. It's nice how it weaves in naturally. He was wondering, how did you arrive where you are today? So maybe you're expanding a little bit more to that. So we know the beginning of BP in Venezuela, and we know that there was a great jump of where.
So great question, Christian. So lots of work. I tell you, there's I think that the ensuring that you're putting in a lot of time and always thinking to go the extra mile gets you to where you want to be. And that's a big part of me being where I am today. Obviously, as you get older, support from your family is key. We've had to move several places several times. I think I've moved around 9 times in my career all over, in the US and outside of the US. So every time you move, you're starting a new life with your family, and they have to be there to support you, and you have to take some risk. Nothing is guaranteed. You gotta be able to step out there and into the not comfort zone, and you have to take some risk. So for me was the ability to come to the States and do my master's here in the States, and then BP very gratefully offered me a job to stay with them after that, and I did. And then ever since, and that was back in 2000, I was able to again, when I saw an opportunity, take it and take some risk and go from there. And that's really where I am today. That's how it's got. I think that's how I've been able to get to where I am today. It's by working hard, taking some risk, and always ensuring that it's not easy, but if you work hard, you can get to where you want to be.
Absolutely, I'll second to that as well. And we were talking a little bit about you, and you keep saying, yes, it was a long time ago. Trust me, we're not that old. So when we look back, let's not look that far back, but any suggestions, guidance, for perhaps you would say, if you look back at younger Miguel and, oh, I should have put a career education, or maybe even, personal, some guidance, suggestions to yourself.
Sure. So I think 2 key things that I always do, and I think everybody should do, is number one, stretch yourself. Never go for the easy way out. Always stretch yourself. Make sure that you have that little discomfort that keeps you up at night. Not for the whole night, but keeps you up thinking a little bit before you go to bed. That's one. And then the other one, it's certainly always think about plan B. Always understand. So if I go down this path and it doesn't work, or I find a wall, how am I going to overcome that issue? And always keep in mind with that plan B, and that's going to help you ensure that you're prepared for that situation that will arise that you will not be ready for, but you at least will have in your mind, you would have thought a few ways that you can tackle that situation.
Certainly. And any students, aspiring students, Fatima is asking, any suggestions that you might have if they were to follow your path?
So sure. So first of all, you need to understand the business very thoroughly. So that is the first advice. So do, you know, when we all start, we all want to be we all want to rise pretty fast, and we all want to get to the top and move fast in our careers. But I think the more time you spend really understanding the details and the small things of the industry you choose to be, in my case, the energy industry, the better prepared you're going to be. Because if you have that foundation, Fatima, that it's already that it's very well built, and that you have a fully understanding of what you're working on, then it's going to allow you to then overlay your ideas and your strategies and your thoughts, and be able to provide solutions that will help you achieve the goals that you're setting for yourself, and will help you grow faster than you think. So sometimes taking a bit more time at the beginning of your career to fully understand what you're into, even though it might take you a bit longer, it may pay back faster than you think.
Absolutely. And we've been talking about work, of course, and this, I'm sure you will agree on this, is the very important is the work-life balance that we need to, you've mentioned family, of course, and as a balance, and others. Just again, what do you do? How do you do when you step away from work? Is there a hobby, or how do you do what Miguel likes to do outside work?
And I think this is one area where we would all agree that with today's technology, it's tough to be away, right? I mean, you're now you on your phone, you can do the conference calls, you can have meetings, you can have, you know, you can approve multiple work-related things. So it's not easy to step away and really be away, but I do think it's good. It's great. I mean, it's we all should aim to have a good work-life balance. I had a boss who always used to tell me, it doesn't matter how much you work, it will still be there tomorrow when you come.
True, isn't that?
And it's never going to go away, right? But your family will go away, your kids will go to college, you will get older. So I do think it's very important to have that work-life balance. I like to play golf. It's a tough one because it demands a lot of time. And it's hard to be away from the family for 5 hours on a Saturday morning when they haven't really seen you a lot for the week. But that's what I enjoy. So I try to do the I guess to play as much as I can, not as much as I would like to, but that is a hobby that I do enjoy a lot.
Oh, that's wonderful. Looking at industry that you were in, look, we have actually Miguel. I wanted your thoughts on what do you think the future of your field might look like?
Very good question. We could be on this question for 3 hours and not get close to where we need to be. So I'll try to summarize it. So our industry is changing. The world is changing. There's a big effort around clean energy and green energy. And actually, one of the citizens that you have chosen, Al Vickers, is working heavily on that. So I'm sure he's going to talk a lot about that. All the companies are recognizing, the governments are recognizing that we need to change, and the industry is evolving. So we need to find ways to migrate from hydrocarbons into something that it's more in line with what the world needs. Mm-hmm. It's a long change. It's not easy. It will take a lot of effort from governments, from companies, from entities to understand how this process is gonna go. But I guess the thing that is certain is that it is evolving. So there will be a shift from hydrocarbons into cleaner energy. How fast, which countries will be first? It's all up still to be defined. I mean, you see a lot of the European countries being more strict when it comes to regulations and laws, and companies being more proactive. But you know, here in the U.S., things are still they're moving pretty fast as well, right? So it is changing for sure. It is exciting. You know, we at Neighbors are trying to define ourselves into how we're going to play in that segment, and we're aggressively investing and looking into multiple ways to be able to be part of that transition. So I think we just need to cautiously. And I say cautiously because a lot of people think that it could happen faster than actually can happen. Yeah. We need to cautiously understand it and start evolving towards that cleaner energy segment.
Houston, of course, we call it energy capital of the world, and we are very proud of it. It's a energy focused city, but not only, certainly a global city with so many other industries. We say at the council here, and I think you'll agree to this, that what happens globally affects us locally and vice versa. We are not isolated from anything. And in so many industries, that is obviously very much the case. Kind of last professional question is, where do you see Houston in 10 years?
So I think Houston will still be the energy capital of the world. It doesn't matter where you're working. You could be working in Indonesia, you could be working in the Philippines, you could be working in the Middle East, and there's still going to be a tie back to Houston somehow, in our industry. So I think Houston has provided the right support, infrastructure, environment, for all the energy industry to feel comfortable being here in Houston. And I think certainly Houston will continue to do that, right? I mean, there's a lot of development and research that is taking place here today. So I see Houston again as in 10 years from now, still being the number one city, the key city for the being the energy capital of the world. Obviously, there might be a bit more of the transitioning into alternative energy than traditional hydrocarbons, but it'll still be here. And I see the industry, obviously, the city adjusting to that and helping with that change into the future.
Absolutely. On a lighter note to finish, we know you like golf, but question of, is there a book that you perhaps are reading, or are we all in a TV series in lately more than before? Is there something that is you're watching or anticipating, or a show, or kind of takes you away from, hopefully not work related?
So a couple of things that I want to say, if for the students out there listening, I would recommend for them to read more than watch TV series. I agree that we have to disconnect sometimes and we have to do different things. One of the series that I was watching, that I've watched throughout time, is House of Cards, and I really enjoy it because it's a good it's a good analogy, or a good way to understand really how things work in the government. And it's sometimes I feel that it's like they were actually doing it from, for real.
Yes.
But if it comes to reading, and you're interested in the energy industry, there's a great book that came out recently called The Energy Map from Daniel Jurgen, who's written a few books, and he's a very well-respected person who writes about our industry and understands our industry, and has been really good about forecasting or giving a bit of anticipated look into how things are going to be evolving. So he wrote a book earlier this year, I think, or late last year, I think it was earlier this year, called The Energy Map. And it's one that I certainly recommend for people to read. It gives a good understanding on his point of view of how things are going to shape up in the future.
Wonderful. And it was interesting how you looked it in, and obviously I did not know you're going to mention, but we have had pleasure of hosting Mr. Jurgen a few times. So that was just a reminder to myself, maybe it's about time to reach out and invite him to join back. So with this, we'll again, I'm going to say thank you, Miguel, for your time. Congratulations. You're such a deserving global leader of influence. We look forward to celebrating you on October 14th. Again, more details on the event and this nomination, visit our website at wachhouston.org. Miguel, any closing words from you?
Thanks a lot again for the nomination. I think this is a great effort by the World Affairs Council, and I'm more than glad to join on October 14th.
Wonderful. Again, wish you a wonderful afternoon. Hopefully you have time to play some golf on the free time. Again, with appreciation of what you do, and together in a global understanding, wish you everybody good afternoon. Thank you, Miguel.
Thank you. Good afternoon.